Da 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 da. Hello and welcome to Top 8 with Corran and Batmouse. I'm your host Kendall. With me as always is Batmouse.
Hey, howdy, hey.
We have special guest Ideatrack.
Happy to be here.
And our Grand Master of Trivia, we have Greg.
Hello there.
Today we are going to be creating a single top 8 list of the top 8 spies in Star Wars CCG. Light side and dark side, undercover and over cover, whatever, broken cover. So this is going to be another crazy list. Before we go into the rules with Greg, Ideatrack, what were your thoughts going into this? How'd you put together your list?
When I first looked through all the spies, I was thinking, actually, I don't know a handful of these at all. It's going to be difficult to get to 10. And then when I got to 14, 15, I was like, no, it's not hard at all. This is which of these go into my honorable mentions. And I got right to the very end, and one in particular I've shoved in honorable mentions, but I'm never really going to be happy with this list. I feel like there's more to include than I ever thought. But yeah, it's deceptive. You think, who are these? Mm-hmm. Who are these kind of random guys? And then when you look into it, oh no, use this one, and I remember this is good in this format, mm-hmm. And yeah, there's reasons to include quite a lot of them.
Right? Yeah, I mean, it's really important to keep in mind with every one of these lists that 8 is not very many. What were your thoughts going into this, Batmouse?
8's not many, especially because we only really get 3 for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I love spies. I during our conversation, I'm like, oh, let's make sure to get undercover spies in there because my top 4 are going to be undercover spies anyway. And a couple of them might even be the same person. I love spies. I love that dynamic because I normally like to play the game a little differently in general than other players. If I can lock you out of damage with that undercover spy and be able to focus on what I really want to do, makes the game so much more fun for me personally from a strategy standpoint. Maybe not so much the interaction, but strategy is far more important to me than interaction. I'd much rather think of the technical, strategic development of a game than having to deal with smashing each other in the face all game long.
Okay. Well, I will hand it over to Greg, who's going to be our trivia grandmaster, and he's going to be kind of guiding the ship for the rest of the show.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So, as most listeners probably know, we're going to be creating a list of top 8 by our 3 players are going to be taking turns making picks. In order to determine who picks which spots, we're going to play some trivia. After the trivia, the players will determine their positions based on their scores. And there will be some other rules, which I think we'll go over right when it's time to play, regarding canceling each other's picks and all that. But for now, I think let's just jump right into trivia and see who can be our top scorer. All right. So getting right into it. Question number 1. I think for a lot of us, the first spy that we ever got in a pack might have been Mama Nadon. So if you could, see if you can remember and tell me Mama Nadon's destiny, deploy, and forfeit. Let's start with, Kendall really didn't like that, so let's start with Kendall. Kendall, Mama Nadon's destiny, deploy, and forfeit.
Okay, so I feel like it's Destiny 3. I'm really glad you didn't ask for the game text, because I really don't know the game text. But yeah, I'm gonna say Destiny 3. It might be Destiny 1. No, I'm gonna say Destiny 3. For some reason, that's sticking out to me. And then deploy 3, forfeit 5. Might be, I don't know. Light side cards are supposed to have good forfeits.
All right, Batmouse.
I'm gonna say he's Destiny 2, deploy 3, forfeit 3. That seems right to me.
And Ideatrack. Or would you prefer a real name? Are we calling you Ideatrack today?
Yeah, either or is fine.
All right.
Yeah, so I should. This is where I'm talking in a big fail, right? But I should know this because when I first came back to the game, I hardly played it at all, right? In real life, and I came back to it through a game a couple of years ago, and I went, right, okay, what's the smallest card pool I can play? And I went for a Premier New Hope sealed. So I think Destiny's difficult. I think it might be Destiny 3. I think he's 2-4. This is going to be spectacularly wrong. But I think he's deployed 2-4 for 4. I'll go 2-4.
Let me just make sure I got that right. You did spit out a bunch of numbers there. Did you say Destiny 3, deploy 2, forfeit 4?
Yes.
No one got it exactly right, but Ideatrack is the closest because you got 2 of the 3 stats right. Mamonadon's Destiny 3, deploy 2, forfeit 3.
Mm.
Kendall and Batmouse each got a third of it. But we'll go ahead and give that point to Ideatrack. All right. Question 2. According to their lore, which spy is part of the most complex spy network in the galaxy? And let's start with, I guess we'll start with the high score, so Ideatrack.
This is going to be a complete guess, I think. Oh, I was tempted to say Corran, but I've recently read his lore. I don't think it's him. Let's go Jaquil. No idea. Complete guess.
Guessing Jaquil, right?
Yeah.
And Batmouse?
They're like, who's the biggest spy? What's the biggest spy network? You'd think like Crimson Dawn would have a good one. There's no Crimson Dawn spy though.
Yeah, all those Crimson Dawn decipher cards.
Yes, they won't have lore, will they? They won't have lore that he wants. Mm.
I'm sorry, can you ask the question one more time? I got lost.
Oh, yeah, sure. According to their lore, which spy is part of the most complex spy network in the galaxy?
I don't even know. Let's have fun. Captain Sarkley.
And Kendall.
Okay, so here's my thought process. So the most complex spy network in the galaxy, first of all, that means it can't be like Leia or Lando or something. So it's not going to be one of our mains. When I hear the most complex spy network in the galaxy, my gut is that it is the ISB. But like the way that they say it there, it's like, this is, we didn't actually call it the ISB. So who's a dark side character in League with the Imperials, probably part of like a vague spy network that may or may not be the ISB. It's Garinden.
Well, no one got it. I do like your logic there, and you're all going to kick yourselves. It's the Bothan spy.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
They have the largest spy network in the galaxy.
None of us should be allowed to be on a Star Wars podcast.
This is a hindsight is 2020 question. When you hear it, it makes perfect sense. Let's move on. Ideatrack still in the lead with a point. This one's going to be multiple choice, and it's about ISB. When playing ISB, which of these characters does not become an ISB agent? Which one does not become an ISB agent? Is it Chal Beacon, Corporal Durdrum, Lieutenant Renz, or Warrant Officer McKay? And starting with Ideatrack.
ISB is not one I play, but ISB makes individual people with characteristics ISB agents. Again, it's a guess. I'm going to go McKay.
Going to go McKay?
Yeah.
All right. Kendall?
So my choices are Shaw Beacon or 3 people I've never heard of. It's not Shaw Beacon, because Shaw Beacon definitely is an ISB agent. So I'm going to say B.
Just you don't even remember the names. You're just going to say whichever one was second.
It's three Imperial officers that I would not, gun to my head, be able to tell you a thing about them.
Okay, so Kendall's going to guess Corporal Durdrum, because that was the second, and then Batmouse. Do you want to hear the choices again, perhaps?
Yes, please. I think I know, but yeah.
Okay, which one is not an ISB agent? Chal Beacon, Corporal Durdrum, Lieutenant Renz, Warrant Officer McKay.
See, I really like the McKay, and I'm just going to follow Ideatrack on this one, because I think it might be McKay, because I think Renz becomes one. Kendall just talked me off of my choice of Chalbacan. And Durdrum, I'm pretty sure he's a trooper that you can play, so yeah, I'm going to go with McKay.
It is Warrant Officer McKay, so that's a point for Ideatrack and Batmouse. The other 3 become ISB agents. Okay. So that means Ideatrack is still in the lead with 2, Batmouse with 1, and Kendall still with a donut.
We're on track for me being able to take a bathroom break during the tiebreaker.
All right. Question 4. Which spy was misprinted by Decipher such that it is missing an icon in the lower right corner area? Ideatrack.
And just which spy? You didn't say light or dark, did you?
I did not.
Okay. The guessing's worked out pretty well for me so far. So I seem to remember something about this on a YouTube video I've watched, but I really don't recall. Let's have a guess. Let's have a guess at Corran.
Ideatrack is going to guess that Corran Horn is missing an icon. And Batmouse?
Like, there's a misprint, so I only want to say R3PO, but I don't even think R3PO is a spy. But I'll say R3PO.
Batmouse is going to say R3PO. And Kendall?
So at least I know the other 2 are wrong. Because if Corran had a misprint on him, I would definitely know.
Yeah.
If Erica had a misprint on her, then Batmouse would definitely know. But it's not that. So that leaves 56 other choices. I feel like it's one of the main ones, though. Like, it's not Bausch, but is it Lando with Vibroax? Yeah, I think it's maybe Lando with Vibroax.
You got it. Kendall gets the point. And,
oh my gosh, what was missing?
Yeah. So you don't know what you're just. It is a guess. Then you have no idea which icon is missing.
It's either. I mean, it's got to be either the permanent weapon or the warrior icon.
He's missing his permanent weapon icon. Of course, if you check it online, it's got an errata. But if you look at your physical Lando with Vibroax, he's missing his perm weapon icon.
Okay.
Nice job.
Yeah.
That brings us to 2 points for Ideatrack and 1 each for Batmouse and Kendall. All right. Game text challenge. Do the best you can with this one. The closest will get the point. Give me the game text for 5d6 RA7. And this is going to be the original, not the virtual. Ideatrack.
Okay. Power +3 when present with one of them. Let's go Targ. And is he one of the ones that can break an undercover spy? Let's go with that. Well, break an undercover. No, I think that's too early because he's Premier, isn't he? Okay, let's just go with that and break an undercover spy during move.
Okay. So if I got you right, you're saying he's power +3 with tag and breaks an undercover spies cover.
Yeah.
Kendall.
So he's the droid ISB agent. And is it so it must be you said not the virtual version, so I must be thinking of the virtual version as the one that has, when you draw a destiny, this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. But I also have absolutely no clue what the non-virtual version would be. So I'm going to say that it says that he's from... I'm going to say that he says whenever you draw destiny, or whenever you draw destiny, if it's 1 something something, if it's 2 something, or if it's 1 or 2 something something, if it's 3 4 something something, if it's 5 6 something something, if it's over 6 something, or except for it's 0 and 1. Sorry, 0 1 1 2, or I mean 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 plus, like the way that the thing. I don't know what it does, but it has. That's how it breaks up the numbers.
Message received. Batmouse.
I like the power plus. I don't know that tag's there. Who are the other portions of the triumvirate? Heather, Mahdi, Vader, Tarkin, right? Or the triumvirate on the Death Star. Tarkin and Vader. Power plus for Mir, so it's gotta be like power +2. No, power +3, right? Power +2 with Mahdi, and then he hates something at the detention block corridor.
Okay. Power +2 with Mahdi, something at detention block corridor. Well, Batmouse is the closest. Here's the actual text. Power +1 if at same site as Mahdi or Yularen. And then his other text, no one got anywhere close. He adds 1 to deploy cost of each opponent's droid, as well as your own mouse droids. And he's immune to attrition during nighttime conditions.
Well, you got that balance. You got to balance the mouse droids. They were so busted.
Busted. So broken.
All right. Question 6. Alert. 3 Decipher spies have broken into a secure facility. Reports indicate that this group of spies consists of 2 musicians and 1 handmaiden. Who are they? Again, these are Decipher spies. Who are the 3 Decipher spies, Batmouse? It is, by the way, 2 points for Batmouse, 2 for Ideatrack, 1 for Kendall.
Which one did we make? We made Yane? No, we made Dorme, right? Sean Valdez, Wire and the Usurper, and Dorme.
I'm sorry, hang on a sec. Oh, as is usually the case, I botched a question here.
Okay.
I mistakenly didn't see that Dorme is not a Decipher card. Whoops. Okay, just give me the 2 musicians. Sorry, everyone. So go ahead, Batmouse. I'm sorry. Not 2 musicians. 1 musician and wait. Sorry, 2 musicians. Yeah. 2 musicians. There's no handmaiden. 2 musicians, no handmaiden.
Well, I had the handmaiden. Sean Valdez and Wire and the Usurper.
Okay, Ideatrack. The 2 Decipher musician spies.
Yeah, I really don't play any musicians and frequently when I see them, so I'm going to have to go the same Wire and the Usurper and Sean Valdez.
And Kendall.
Okay, so just to confirm, because in fiction, since this is a word problem, did we specify that these are rebel spies?
No, I'm sorry if that was maybe unclear. I don't know if that changes anyone's answer. Maybe I really botched this. I did not specify anything like that.
Okay,
It's just It's just two Decipher
so
spy
two
musicians.
Decipher. Okay. Yeah, because I'm surprised that Batmouse didn't say Erica, who is
You said rebel. You said light side though.
I did not.
That's why I was asking to confirm.
Should we just throw this question out, Kendall? Maybe you can cut this right out of the episode. I'll just call the next question 6.
You just said rebels.
I definitely didn't, and we have it on recording. So, alert! 3 Decipher spies have broken into a secure facility.
Yeah.
Destroy this question.
Okay, because I don't think Sean Valdez is a musician. I think he's a poet. Because I know that because of the story. I think. I'm not sure. Or else he's not a spy. Yeah, he's definitely not a spy. So it would have been the Wyron usurper guy that you guys were talking about and Erica, right? Was that the answer you were looking for?
The right answer, the 2 Decipher musician spies are Erica and Umpaste.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to say Wyron the usurper.
All right. Are we? Kendall would get the point, so he may be a little biased because he did get the closest.
Just move on to the next one. I'm not going to win. On. It's fine.
That creates a three.
Creates a 3-way tie.
That creates a 3-way tie, and there's a chance everyone's going to get this last one. It's not too tough of a question. Name a foil spy you can open in a pack of Reflections 1. There are multiple answers, so just name any foil spy you can get in a pack of Reflections 1. And it's a 3-way tie, but Kendall, you haven't gone first in a while, so yeah. Kendall, you're up.
Ugh, this is rough. Reflections 1. Trying to think if there's a foil. There has to be. R2D2.
Kendall's saying R2D2. And Ideatrack.
Leia
Organa and Batmouse.
U3PO.
You've all got points. Those are all valid spies that you can get a foil in Reflections 1. That means it looks like we're going to play a 3-way tiebreaker.
All right. This is dramatic.
All right. So I don't want this to take too long. Let's see how I can just narrow down the list of spies we've got here.
Just ask Batman the first question. He'll knock himself out of it.
I don't know. I might lose stuff. I guess I've been doing better than expected today, so.
All right. We're just going to stick to Decipher to keep the list from getting too long. And why don't we just say Dark Side Decipher spies? All right, and let's go. Let's use the suggested order of Batmouse first, and then we'll go Kendall, Ideatrack.
Dark Side
spies. Dark Side spies stick to Decipher only.
Okay. U3PO.
U3PO. Okay.
Erica.
Dark Side, but not Imperial, right?
It could be Imperial as long as it's Dark Side.
Kedar the Black.
All right, back to Batmouse.
Umpaste.
Yep.
Erica Virtual.
No, we're sticking to Decipher.
Oh, Decipher.
I'll give you a free pass.
Mara Jade, the Emperor's Hand.
Okay.
Tanaka sisters.
Very good.
Captain Sarkley.
Yep.
Grindon.
Yep.
Shaquille.
Yep.
Labriel.
Yep.
Mergerick. I think he's an admiral.
I'm gonna need a card title.
Admiral. Is it Admiral Mergerick?
No,
The guy that pulls systems.
that's not the card title.
Okay.
Promotion.
So we're just gonna say Kendall's out, and we're gonna continue
Okay.
on. So Ideatrack.
Oh, I might be out too. Hang on. There's some sort of timer counting down somewhere. I'm going to kick myself. There's a load. Did we say Arica?
We did.
Mara Jade then?
We did.
Okay. Now I'm gone.
You gone. You don't know. So I'll go ahead and call it for Batmouse. You don't know who the Mergic is either.
Commander Meragic.
Yep. In case you're wondering, there's only a couple left. There's Fozak.
5d6.
Oh,
Yeah, there is. That's right. There is 5d6. Murtok Yin, and the last one, which actually is maybe an easy one. Probe Droid. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow. So it sounds like Batmouse had this pretty handily, regardless. All right. Well, congrats, Batmouse. So you will be the first pick, and then Kendall and Ideatrack dropped out one right after the other, but still technically Ideatrack lasted the second longest, and we'll get the second pick. So let's talk about those picks. Player A will get picks 1 and 4, as well as a defensive shield we'll explain in a moment. Player B will get picks 2, 6, and 8. And player C will get picks 3, 5, and 7. The defensive shield that's available to player A. Did we give it a name, or should I just explain what it is? You're
we didn't give it a name.
We're just going to explain it then.
Just call it undercover.
Player A, sure. Player A's special effect or defensive shield is undercover. They will, when it is time for them to make their fourth pick, they will automatically play undercover, which will cause the other players to direct message player A with their preferred pick for picks 2 and 3. This will be binding, meaning those players will have to stick with those DM'd picks if possible. And this will allow player A to make a more informed decision when they make their pick number 4. So, Batmouse, which player would you like to be?
I would like to make the very first pick. I actually want the shield, so I'm gonna be player A.
Okay, Batmouse is player A getting picks 1 and 4 and the undercover card. Ideatrack, would you like to be player B with picks 2, 6, 8, or player C with picks 3, 5, 7?
Yeah, it's a good shield. So whoever won was going to take player A, weren't they? I'll have player B.
Ideatrack is player B, and Kendall, you are going to be player C.
Right.
Okay, just a quick recap on the other special abilities during the picks is each player gets 2 senses. A sense can cancel another player's pick. Each player gets 1 alter. An alter can cancel a sense. And that's basically it. A sense cannot cancel another sense. It can cancel an alter. That's it. So I think we're ready. Ideatrack, do you want to... Sorry?
I said, yeah.
Oh, okay. Ideatrack, who is the 8th best spy in the game?
8th best spy. Now, I'm torn as to how to do this because, as Batmouse said, you really only get you've got a top 8, but you have no guarantees of how many of those are actually going to get in there. Obviously, we try and do it in order. So rather than just going for something at the top end, I will actually go for my 8. And it is Tonica Sisters. For me, it's one of the... I mean, Cloud City's full of gags, right? But it's one of the long-standing gags throughout the entirety of Star Wars CCG. All the 2s. Kithx has gags on that later. Darkside Lando has dealings with Tonica Sisters twice. It's fun, right? It's not too powerful. They can destroy weapons and devices that could potentially get rid of them with sorry about the mess. So they are relatively powerful, but they can equally just be turned. There's a kind of light side interrupt that just turns them to the light side. So it's not too powerful, but it's fun. It's a really fun card, and it's still kind of key. It's just been virtualized. It's one of the iconic ones that has many, many gags and many repetitions, re-eyes, and a few things have tried to do variations on a theme with loads of 3s. So for that reason, because it's fun and not too powerful, that's my number 8.
Okay. And Batmouse, any response?
Tonica Sisters, yeah, I like it. There's a lot of fun, but I don't. When I think of my top 8 spies, I don't think of Tonica Sisters.
Yeah,
I will sense.
All right, cool. Good.
Did you want to comment?
Well, I'll my comment is that if Batmouse hadn't sensed, I might have talked myself into it. They're not like on the one hand, they're like, I think there's a space. There's like one space for a spy that actually doesn't belong on the list, but is like a pet card, or just like a sort of like card that you would play just because it was a spy. At some point, I think that speaks to the narrative, and Tonica Sisters fit that bill, but it's not the one of those that I would have picked, and also it's not one that even I was anywhere close. But if you want to alter it, go for it.
I don't care that much about it. It's still way down on my list, so I will save my alter for stuff later.
All right, new pick then, please.
Okay, so probably going to murder this name, but Yasan Isgard, the one that essentially sits in a load of Bring Him decks. I'm a sucker for a Bring Him deck. That was until so many things just got around Your Destiny and it kind of dropped away from the meta. That was a really good one because that one, when present with Luke, adds extra attrition. Well, adds extra attrition. You win battles. You get +2 in a Bring Him Before Me deck, but also you're getting 2 Destiny. And a lot of time I win Bring Him decks by turning. So stacking those cards in order to be able to get the plus to turn Luke is key. So getting that in an environment where you have a captive is very, very strong. Also, there's a whole bunch of cards in here that in turn break covers of other spies. And that is a really powerful ability for a spy themselves to have because it gives them multiple functions. And I think in a meta where, or in just a game, spies are used to shut in exactly the same way as Batmouse was talking about earlier, shut down other people's ability to drain. Being able to break covers of spies is key. So again, quite low down on my list, and I'm wondering whether I should go higher with some of these things, but that is what I'm putting in at 8 and was my 7.
I like her.
All right.
So it's pronounced Isani. I've always said Isani, and then it's Isard because it's supposed to sound like Ice Heart.
Okay.
But at least that's how they pronounced it in the audiobooks that I listened to. But yeah, I like her. That's perfect. She was in my. I don't think she made my 8, but she made my like 13, which I had the best experience a little bit earlier today. I had maybe putting my list together longer than I should have, and we were driving to lunch, my wife and I, and I was driving, and she was. So I was like, okay, go through the list of spies, and I'm going to say yes or no, like whether it makes the potential list, and she's seen Star Wars and she likes Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, but there's levels, obviously, and so she's reading all these names of obscure, like, 4 frames on there, and just doesn't. She's like Arika, Tam Teal Scredge, like just. And we all mispronounce stuff, like no shade or anything. It was just kind of entertaining.
Batmouse, any comments?
I like ISAR. I actually hadn't ever noticed that feature for the +2 to attrition everywhere. Kind of like that. Thanks. Now you're gonna wander into a game Ideatrack, and then Batmouse is just like, oh, you also have +2 attrition everywhere. By the way, that would have been great to stack with the other Emperor, right? Before, missed opportunities. I what you refer to as the spies breaking spies, I like to refer to that, like, internally as the takes one to know one rule. Like, I know you're a spy because I'm also a spy. Yeah, ISAR can stay on the list because the takes one to know one rule.
I mean, I do want her on there, but I also want to get rid of all of Batmouse's senses. So it's kind of working and not working.
You're not supposed to say that out loud. You're not supposed to say that part out loud.
No, she's my number 7, so I'm happy to get her in at number 8 if she's staying.
Kendall, it's your pick for number 7.
Okay, so since we actually had a good pick for number 8, I feel comfortable picking my pet number 8. I think. Let me look at my list here. Oh yeah, because my number 7 is a character I don't like. Okay, so like I was saying about Tonica Sisters, they're especially like early, first few sets, and like growing up and stuff when I didn't understand how to play the game. One mechanic that I did understand was that when you don't have force icons, you can't deploy there, and that spies can deploy there. And I thought, and so just a character that says spy in their lore, that automatically makes you pay attention to it. And a card that I don't even think I had it when I was growing up, but I knew it existed from going to decipher.com and looking at the card lists, because I had a very small collection growing up. It's like, wow, that is if I had this card, I would just play 20 copies of it in every deck. Probably not recommended, because it's a non-unique spy, which is a really cool, like really potentially powerful thing. And I just anytime I still go back and look anytime I'm building in the Decipher only format. And that card is Bothan Spy.
Bothan Spy, and the first response will be Ideatrack.
You see, I don't think I have a single non-unique on my 8 to 15 with honorable mentions. I did feel like I was putting loads and loads on this list.
There aren't many non-uniques out there,
right? Which is why Bothan Spies are cool. Yeah, I think they're probably the only. Are they the only? No, they're not the only.
There's the probe droid.
Yeah, because there's probe droid, and I think there's another. I think there's like an Imperial commander or something, or a rebel commander or something that's a spy as well. That's
the rebel commander isn't, but he comes up when you search on Scum because his lore says like Spynet, so that doesn't count. Yeah, there might be others though, and there certainly are. If you start getting into ISB, then you have options as well. But we're not doing that.
Yeah,
today.
But we're not adding extra.
No, we're not.
And Tonica Sister doesn't come up right when you search because she's.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a few like that.
Oh, that's why Tonica Sisters weren't on my list.
I am going to sense this. I think I am going to sense this.
Ooh.
Big sigh.
Well,
Okay. Ideatrack's got the sense, but I don't know if we want to discuss the altar or give Batmouse a chance to comment.
Let Kendall decide the altar.
Decide
I'll
on
make
the
a
altar,
comment
yeah.
afterwards, but
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna alter this. I think this is
Okay.
probably the one that's not that's like my least obvious pick, and also one that I kind of almost care about. Yeah, so I'm gonna alter it.
And Ideatrack, you have the option to use your other sense.
No, and I think whilst Kendall's saying they're all obvious from here on in, I think they're all obvious to us, but do we agree? I don't know, so I'm going to save my other sense for later.
Right. And Batmouse, then, any comments or senses?
I was gonna sense. I'm not going to now because I only have one left. And I really want my pick to be at the top. It will be anyway, but I want my pick to be at the top. And while I like the both in Spy, we shouldn't be putting this on the list because none of us remembered that the card existed earlier.
No, I remembered that it existed. I just didn't know the lore.
So I feel like the trivia master should sense Kendall's. You didn't know the card was there. You don't get to play it on the list. I'm not going to use a sense on this. I was with Ideatrack. I think if Ideatrack had also used his second sense, I would have. Yeah, it was good. But I'm not going to burn my sense to keep it off the list.
Okay, then. So Tonica Sisters is 8, Bothan Spy is 7.
Wait,
Ideatrack, what's 6?
Isard
Sorry about that. Isard is 8, Bothan Spy is 7. Ideatrack, what is 6?
This is where
it gets hard, right?
I have a feeling that this might get sense because people want it higher.
Shield.
Wait.
I want to use my shield.
No, the shield is specifically at number 4. It's
specifically at 4.
You use it. No, we were pretty clear. I think we were very clear. Actually,
you use it before you play number 4, and then we send you our 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Okay, that's fine. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go Andor because it's very, very powerful in a stack, not necessarily on his own, but in a stack full of people. It's relatively expensive, but can be cheaper depending on where he is. And cancelling, the ability to cancel, again, with some provisions. You need to have a character you're willing to put out play in your lost pile, but cancelling a weapon destiny or a battle destiny is really, really powerful. Gives your scrubs, such as they are, I mean, you can really call Andor a scrub, but more staying power. And I like the fact that his immunity, I think, if I'm getting this right from what I looked at, from what I remember, is only relevant at your opponent's battleground. So it makes you be aggressive, which is, from my perspective, a very well-designed card because it's in keeping with Andor, the character. And I think that cancelling power is huge. And that's why I think maybe people have him higher. But let's see.
Right. Batmouse's response?
I dislike Captain Cassian Andor. Mainly for the Destiny cancel. Because all it does is the brave little droid canceling Destiny sends him back to the use pile at least. Captain Cassian Andor stays on the table. I don't
but it's once per game.
Dislike him enough to use my sense. But I don't dislike him enough to use my sense. I just don't like Captain Cassian Andor. Maybe it's just the image on the card that I don't like. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a brilliant image. When the brave little droid goes back, though,
I don't love the card, but I don't care enough to want to sense it off the board.
when Brave Little Droid goes back, it almost has a double whammy because you're potentially stacking a 6 as well at that point. Has to leave the table to start with, but you do have a 6.
So-
But you're not losing. You're not. There's forfeit. There's power. There's ability that him staying on the table applies to.
So I wasn't going to use my sense, but then you kept calling him Andor, and I really am not a fan of that show.
See, you don't like him either. Kill it.
No, I'm not going to. He was my number 7. If I was going to sense every card that I don't like on this list, then we wouldn't have a list because a lot of spies do some dirty things. I think Cassian is pretty well designed. Does a really good job of kind of threading that needle because we have a problem in the modern day that there are a lot of main characters now, and I think it's tricky designing a main character that feels powerful while not making just everybody, not having like crazy power creep and not making it so that just like everybody is playing a deck that is just, one of each main character of every show. And so, yeah, I like him he was my number 7. So yeah, I like him at 6.
Okay. So then Kendall, it's up to you to make pick number 5.
All right. Let's look at my list here. This one will probably get sensed, but I think it works at number 5. Man, yeah, we're getting up there fast. Oh man. So I'm definitely picking a droid. Yeah, it's got to be. So a card that could arguably go in literally every single dark side deck. It doesn't necessarily fit. It doesn't necessarily fit in literally every single dark side deck, but you could make an argument for it. He kind of looks like C-3PO. So I'm gonna pick U-3PO. He just that like being a droid that can just deploy as undercover. He doesn't have a persona cost. He's like super powerful, but also he's got he's a regular droid, so he's got no defense value. He like switches sides if you break his cover, which I like. Just a really solid card that if you want an undercover spy, he fits the bill.
He's a good one.
Yeah, he's not you don't have to worry about like counter beats, like so if he goes undercover and they break his cover and then you lose 1 million force because you don't have your Gick. Great card.
First response to Ideatrack.
I love this card. This card was my number 2. The only reason I would sense it is that feels low, but then past experience, I've listened to this podcast a lot. If you take something off because you think it's too low, it ends up being an honorable mention at best. Right? So,
you just have to. If you use your sense, then you know that it is your responsibility to play.
You're taking a pick.
Yeah. But I mean, 4 to 2 or 5 to 2.
I'm happy with that being there and slightly lower. I like the fact that it's still around. There's very few non-V cards, especially from those early couple of sets that are still around. You get blast door controls and stuff like that, but there's not, especially characters. You don't see them around very much. I like the fact that it looks like a light side card and it has to explain on it that this is a dark side card because it was a new concept, a new idea. And even in those first couple of sets, didn't play huge amounts, but it was obviously around a lot because when R3PO came around in Hoth, you paid a penalty, not just for an undercover spy, but a droid undercover spy was 4 force lost every single turn because presumably U-3PO is in every deck going everywhere. So yeah, I'm not going to sense that.
All right, and Batmouse response.
You guys, they see me on the video. The listeners don't. Me just like pumping my fist in joy when U3PO was mentioned here, because then I don't have to use one of my picks on it.
Yep.
U3PO is one of my favorite cards. Like I said earlier, the ability to just block your drains and go, all right, well, I want you to have the answer for this. And play the game just a little bit differently is a massive thing for me. So yeah, I love U3PO. Thank you for choosing this so I didn't have to.
My own comment on U3PO is he has that funny combo where you give it to the opponent and then what do you play counter assault or something and they've got like a 1 power character, so it's easier to counter assault them. Also, when we clean up the top 8 list at the end of the show, make sure to give Kendall his U3PO back. That was a joke.
Stolen card.
Yeah.
Just like Jin. Jin is stolen so much because of that.
Okay, so it is halftime. So to recap, we have Yasan Isard at 8, Bothan Spy at 7, Captain Cassian at 6, U3PO at 5, Batmouse has a sense and an altar remaining, Ideatrack has a sense and an altar remaining, Kendall has 2 senses remaining. Before Batmouse makes his pick number 4, he's going undercover. Did he turn his camera off as part of going undercover, or is that just coincidental? I'm sending direct messages that you guys can reply to with your picks so that Batmouse can secretly see them. So just to clarify to the audience again what's happening, Ideatrack is going to send Batmouse pick number 2. So Batmouse will know what it is, Kendall won't. Kendall is going to send Batmouse his pick number 3. So again, Batmouse will know what that is, and the other player won't. So we're going to keep those secret for now. Okay, and they have both come through. So Batmouse, if you have taken a look at those and you know what's coming, you can now make a very educated decision about how you'd like to pick number 4. So when you're ready.
Yeah, I think Batmouse dropped from the call, actually.
Oh. Yeah, completely undercover. He's got deep cover.
Sometimes the spies have to, fake their own death, so Batmouse has just dropped off completely.
Wait, am I gone? I can hear you guys.
I'm gonna stop the recording until we get him back up.
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Okay, so I'm not sure exactly where we cut out and back in. Kendall will, I'm sure, be editing that to some degree. But to recap the halftime, again, it's number 8, Yasan Isard, number 7, Bothan Spy, number 6, Captain Cassian Andor, number 5, U3PO. Batmouse has gone undercover, and while undercover, he has learned from Kendall and Ideatrack what they intend to pick for number 2 and 3. And so he can now make a very educated decision about how he would like to make his pick number 4. Go ahead, Batmouse.
Pick number 4. I'm torn between 3 cards. And I'll pick the other one of them at number 1. I'm going to choose Arca V. Arca V, the once per game relocate is great, but for decks that don't even play Luke, for decks that put Luke in space, the ability to have static retrieval on the dark side, even though you have to sit there out in the open and potentially be attacked, Arca is a massive card for me. Ability, power 4, ability 5, so you can weapon level with her, some defense against Jedi coming to fight her. Token immunity, but, Shadow Collective, if you do Quietly Observing, you can pull her with the Musician's Sight.
Okay. First response is Kendall.
I thought that would be your number 1. Now I'm thinking that you're going to put Erica Nanvi as your number 1. And I don't know if I want 2 Mara Jades on the list, but Also, I'm not mad at it. I'm just trying to think what your number 1's going to be. If that's your number 4. Maybe you're trying to bait out a sense.
What? I'm Batmouse.
It's on brand, isn't it? I was half.
I think that makes. Yeah, depending on what Ideatrack's number 2 is, or maybe that was Ideatrack's number 2.
That's what I was thinking.
And
I
so
thought
you're
he was
getting
going to say
you're
one of
getting
our
it
cards,
there, so
definitely.
you could be the one that puts it on the list. Maybe.
And I know, and you two don't.
Or maybe it was my number 3. Who knows?
Whoa.
Yeah, I'll leave it there.
And any response from Ideatrack?
No, it was on my list. It was on my top 8. So I'm happy with it being there.
Okay, number 4, Erica V. Kendall, go ahead and reveal what your number 3 is. Batmouse already knows.
So going into this, I said whatever my highest number is, because I don't know that he necessarily deserves to be number 1, but he's number 1 in my heart. And that is my forum name, which, by the way, was not originally directly a reference to Corran Horn. My handle on a lot of stuff in that, middle high school when everybody had handles on everything, was Corran Antilles, with the idea that I was another guy, and it's just that Corran is just like kind of a common name, and Antilles is a kind of a common last name. Because at that time, I think they've changed the canon a little bit, but well, obviously they have. But Bale Antilles from Episode 1, Captain Antilles from A New Hope. Now they're related, but they didn't used to be related. And then obviously Wedge Antilles were all 3 different Antilleses that were not related. So I was like, I'll be another one. And I spelled it a little bit differently. We'll just pretend like it wasn't because I was bad at spelling. But then like the forums, you could only have so many characters when I signed on for the Star Wars card forums. So I became Corran, and then like eventually the Antilles just went away because you don't use the other stuff anywhere anymore. But and I mean he does the, like, he still fits in a lot of decks, even though he's not a not like a life-changingly powerful character. He breaks cover, he adds with the people, he adds to the maneuver in space. Like he's a great card.
And he's no longer a job as prize, so that makes him possible to play again. Yeah.
He was never my job as prize. I would always give him Han. I was like, I'd rather have Corran than Han.
Okay, so the first response to the Corran Horn pick goes to Ideatrack.
Okay, so I didn't give my number 1 to Batmouse, and I realized the mistake that I've made here because I actually gave my number 2 or 3, because C-3PO is gone now, to Batmouse. And I've fallen into the trap of relying on Batmouse picking the same number 1 as me. That is a rookie error. I'm never getting invited back. You can see it coming an absolute mile.
Well, do you have a sense left? You can sense yourself.
I have a sense and an altar, right? And
you could sense yourself.
See, Corran is my number 9, but I do want to save a sense altar battle for number 1. I don't. It's on my list of honorable mentions and is the top of that honorable mention, so I think I won't sense this and rely on Batmouse's good nature.
Those are famous last words on this show. Greg's right. Sitting there going, "You poor fool."
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So Corran Horn sticks at number 3. And that takes us to number 2. Ideatrack will reveal what Batmouse already knows. Ideatrack.
Yeah, so it's Jyn Erso. Very powerful card, and obviously another main that, in my opinion, has been designed really well. Not too powerful, but somebody you want representation in the game that wasn't around when Cypher was, and for a lot of the V sets wasn't around, has been designed really well. options to deploy undercover or not, and getting the draws on her own, but also getting that information on what's in an opponent's hand is something that was around a lot in the early sets. You used to have to hit a timer and look at somebody's hand for 10 seconds or something. That mechanic doesn't really exist in the game anymore, and that information is really, really useful to have. Now, you only get it, I think, when she leaves, so it's not necessarily a great time, but knowing what's in your opponent's hand is a massive advantage to that card. So that's why I've got her as high as I do.
All right. And the first response to Batmouse.
I really like Jyn Erso. And I'm going to leave her here. Somebody pointed out at a fun interaction with Jyn Erso, and I'm going to keep that to myself. But it was very fun to think of afterwards. Yeah, I like Jyn Erso. Jyn Erso can definitely be at number 2. She was in my top 4. Only because of my other top 3 are awesome. Anyways, yeah, Jyn Erso can stay. That's fine.
And Kendall, any response?
Oh man. So here's a few thoughts. I mean, Jyn is obviously great, and she's fine. She's fine on this list. Although, just like she's like one of these cards that I wish we could have something more exciting this high on the list. Also, Ideatrack said that Jyn Erso is not his number 1, and there is no chance that Batmouse is going to pick Ideatrack's number 1. I don't think.
Not a chance.
So I am going to sense it to give Ideatrack the opportunity to play as number 1.
See, all the time I was waiting for Batmouse's good nature. The only person with a good nature is actually Kendall. So
You've listened to this show, right?
I know. I'm an idiot.
Episodes.
I'm an idiot.
Well, I got Corran and Botham Spy on the list. I don't care about the rest of the list.
See, this is how you do a friendly show, Batmouse. This is how you work together.
Wait, we're supposed to be working together?
Not really.
We're working together and against each other. Competitive collaboration. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good.
I've been playing this game wrong, boys.
All right, Ideatrack. Well, you could either alter the sense or make a new pick. Your call.
Hang on a minute. If I don't alter this, can Batmouse still ruin my day by altering it himself?
Yes.
But then I've got a sense.
So Batmouse has both a sense and an alter currently in his at his disposal.
I'm not, because I think Kendall's right about my number 1, and I'm gonna repick this as my number 1.
All right, and Batmouse, you're gonna just sit back at the moment and
I'm just waiting to see what happens.
you just waiting to watch. All right, go ahead, Ideatrack, make a new pick.
So my number 1, that is now whatever this pick is Mara Jade.
Oh,
Mara Jade, the Emperor's Hand, coming in at number 2.
Is now people can't see Batmouse's face, and I can't.
And now Batmouse. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. I'm not gonna comment anymore. But I'll let it stand. This list is gonna be amazing.
Ideatrack, why don't you just start by kind of talking about your pick?
So Mara Jade for me is the one that has. I hate QMC, and sticking people on non-battleground sites with low forfeit and hoping that you can cancel the battle or move them away, or even not have a battle start because no one can deploy there. Mara Jade's the card that goes into a lot of decks and has, for me in particular, brought me some success against QMC because of an unexpected battle that then takes place at that point. That one's really good. And I think that, along with a number of other cards, is something that keeps people wary about just leaving people alone at a site where you don't think a high ability, high power character can come down. So that's why Mara was my number 1.
Once again, the first response is to Batmouse.
So, you chose Mara Jade, the Emperor's Hand, as your repick, and I'm so glad you did. I love Mara Jade, period. To the point where I was going to save this story for number one, because I actually would have picked Mara Jade, the Emperor's Hand, at number one. And now I don't have to.
Your good nature. Oh, was there all along.
So, up until the last second, my youngest daughter's name was going to be Mara Jade. Like, literally until the last second, and then I named her Alana instead. So, she went from being Mara Jade to the granddaughter of Han and Leia in Alana. So I love Mara Jade being on this list. All the gameplay aspects, that's all great. Mara Jade is a great card. I love the card. Great pick.
Would her middle name have been Jade, or would her first name have been Mara Jade?
No, her middle name would have been Jade. It would have been Mara
Gotcha.
Jade. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, and Kendall, any response?
I'll save my comments for later. No response.
No response, and I take it that means no sensing and
No
altering.
sense in alter.
He's out.
All
He's
right.
out. Kendall's out.
Oh
No, I have a
has
sense.
Kendall does have a sense. Ideatrack has a sense and an alter. Batmouse has a sense and an alter. Okay. Now pick number one, Batmouse. Would you like? Should we do a recap? Starting from 8, Yasani Sard. 7, Bothan Spy. 6, Captain Cassian Andor. 5, U3PO. 4, Arica V. 3, Corran Horn. 2, Mara Jade, the Emperor's Hand. And number 1,
Arica original.
I knew it. I knew he was going to do that. I knew you were going to do that. Yes.
That's the only reason why I wanted pick number one. It's the same reason I wanted pick number one in the last episode. Is I want my pick at the top. Arica, the undercover Arica, is amazing. On top of being able to break during their control phase to fire a weapon, the reducing of the forfeit immunity for Luke, great, love all that. Arica, Mara Jade is one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. And like I said, all around great card.
first response to Kendall.
Okay, so I'm getting to know Batmouse better. I'm seeing his twists coming, but so I would have had a problem if we had Arica V at number 4 and then Arica non-V at number 1. If it wasn't for Ideatrack putting Mara Jade at number 2, so he broke convention because usually I don't like more than one of the same character on a list. But our guest set the precedent, so I'm on board. Not only is Mara Jade the best is the best spy, she's 3 of the best top 8 spies.
That's right.
Yeah,
3 of the top 4, even.
yeah, 3 of the top. She is 3 out of 4 spies in the Star Wars universe.
All right.
And Corran Horn's the other one. That's great. Like that's they're all expanded universe characters. We got 5 expanded universe characters on our list because Isard and then 3 Mara Jades and a Corran. That's awesome.
Take that, Disney.
People can't see this, but Greg looks like he's going to smash the place up in a minute.
This isn't actually final until Ideatrack has had a chance to respond. He does have a sense, although I suppose Batmouse has an alter.
Yeah, it's immaterial, but I'm denied with having 2 of Arica, even though there's 3 technically on the list. But I'm happy with that stay. No problem at all.
Great. Any other comments? Do you want to get into some honorable mentions?
Yeah, since we have, it's really a list of like 5 characters. We got plenty of honorable mentions.
Plenty of honorable mentions.
Yeah, just throw them out. We don't need to do it formal.
So we've missed off 4 versions of R2D2 that could have been on there as well. So our entire list could have been 2 characters.
Yeah,
The problem with R2 though is that like as important as he is in the universe and everything, he doesn't see that much play. Like
No.
Relatively speaking, and it's spread out across multiple versions. I don't think there's a definitive like I put R2 on my list, like basically saying at this slot, if I get this pick, I'm gonna pick an R2D2 and I'm gonna have to figure out which one it is. But yeah, I think what we learned here today is that there's 3 versions of Mara Jade that are more iconic than any version of R2D2, and I think that's right. I had Lando with Vibro Axe. And actually the rest of my list got talked about. Garindin was on my honorable mentions. Bausch was on my honorable mentions. Like, yeah, so we didn't have a Leia. Dr. Afra.
I had Ezra Bridger. I had Ezra Bridger.
My other Lord Afra was on my list as well, because you see so many games of Open finished by her appearing at the council chamber, right? And when everybody's got so few life force and so few cards in hand, getting an extra drain of 3 in, it's often the game ender, and grabbing an offensive droid from your last pile as well is very, very strong. So that was another one that was it was actually in my top 8, but I think having 6 of my 8 are actually on the list, so I'm pretty pleased.
It's wild how, like, if you actually look at your list before and after, even if like you get hung up on a couple picks, how often they do the rest of the list really does reflect similarly.
Yeah.
What were your picks, Greg? Oh, Batmouse has his honorable mentions.
For me, the only one that throws me off is the Balkan Spy. Like I would have liked K2SO, but like Ezra Bridger is great. Wyron the Usurper, I said it during trivia just because I wanted to say his name. And Probot would have been the only other one.
Yep. So I don't have a full list, but I just ones I wanted to mention. Yeah, you guys hit Afra, Probot. They see play. I wish that there was a meta with way more ties in it so that people would play Tycho and steal the opponent's tie. I think that's really cool, but it doesn't really come up enough. And then this has been mentioned, but before I even say the name of the card, when you pick a deck to play, I think one of the most exciting parts is you say, what do I get to do with this deck that not all the decks can do? And whenever you're light side and you're playing a deck that's based on Tatooine, which there are a few, you say, oh, I get to play Lando with Axe. He's really good, and I can't always use him, so I get to use him in this deck. So I think he's a really exciting card to be able to get to use, and probably deserve to place on the list, but there just wasn't enough room for some reason. But I think a list probably could have Lando with Axe in the top 8. That's it.
All right. So another great top 8 list. Thanks, Ideatrack. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Batmouse, for coming on. This is our first time recording with Riverside.fm. So hopefully the audio quality will be incrementally better. It looks like the Batmouse's first half of the recording is now at 96% uploaded. So hopefully it'll get that last 4%. And the rest of us, hopefully everything goes according to plan. Cause I don't have a backup recording today. But until next time, good luck, have fun, and no reverts. This podcast is a production of the KendallCast Podcast Network. You can support the show for just $2 a month at patreon.com/KendallCast or make a direct donation through the PayPal link at kendallcast.ninja. Every little bit helps.